The Solway Junction Railway. By the early 1860s, over 100,000 tons of iron ore was being shipped annually from West Cumbria to Scotland. The Solway Junction Railway was built to carry this traffic without having to pass through Carlisle. To avoid Carlisle, a spectacular viaduct was built over the Solway from Bowness-on-Solway to Annan in Scotland. This linked the Maryport and Carlisle Railway with the Caledonian Railway in Kirtle Bridge. The viaduct opened in September of 1869 for goods, and for passengers in July 1870. The viaduct was 1 mile 176 yards long and 34 feet above sea level. In its construction, there was 2,900 tons of cast iron used and 1,800 tons of wrought iron. Problems with the viaduct first appeared just 6 years after the opening of the route, but disaster struck in the winter of 1880-1881, when the rivers Esk and Eden had frozen in the upper reaches of the Firth, and when the thaw came, great chunks of ice as much as 27 square yards and 6 feet thick were carried into the bridge piers on the ebb tide, travelling at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Fortunately, there had been no loss of life, although 45 of the 193 piers and 37 girders had collapsed. It was to take more than 3 years to rebuild the structure. In 1895, the Caledonian Railway had taken over the line, and for a brief period this spectacular crossing carried goods, passengers and livestock daily. The iron ore traffic declined, and during the First World War passenger traffic was withdrawn. All traffic ceased by 1921, owing, it was said, to the unsafe condition of the viaduct. It was dismantled in 1933. Apparently, part of the reason was that the Scots, who had no access to alcohol on a Sunday, used to walk across to the liberal English side and returned in less than a sober state, occasionally falling into the Solway and were drowned.